Hola! 'Tis I, Alycia. How are you? Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about the 1800s, Cabbage Patch Kids. And then we're not talking about the dolls from the 80s. You know the dolls from the 80s. Everybody had to have one. People were fighting over them in the malls, buying 3 at a time. It was a thing. I remember I had my little Cabbage Patch doll kids, little family of them. I had Petey. He was a little bald baby with a little tuft of hair. I had one named Francesca. I don't remember all their names. Some I liked better than others. Anyway, the dolls. Now we're going to talk about in 1800s. Now there was these postcards they had, and they would show various weird kind of art, right? So it'd be like, here's a cabbage patch, like a literal cabbage patch, and there's these little kids sitting on top of it, little babies, right? And it looks like the babies are growing out of these cabbage plants. Babies growing out of cabbage plants. Sometimes they'd be like hatching from eggs, I guess. Sometimes they're on a mushroom. I don't know. And so the legend behind the Cabbage Patch dolls goes back apparently to the legend of the Cabbage Patch Kids in the 1800s. And there was this idea that there was a sudden rise in orphans in the 1800s. And so then we started getting all these orphanages and incubators and all these things. And people were wondering, I don't know when they were wondering, if they were wondering this back then or just now, wondering if these babies were clones, like they had a cloning farm and they're just making babies like crazy. And this is like, well, we don't have anywhere to put them yet, so we'll put them in an orphanage and then people can come pick up their baby. I don't know. Let's look into it. One of you lovely suggested this. I've never heard this before. I don't know. That's all I know about it. So we're going to look into it. But I have to tell you, it's all for entertainment purposes only, not fact. My opinion, psychic downloads, just the usual. Just the usual. And so let's see. Where did the sudden rise in orphans during the 1800s, what was that due to? Maybe there's a bunch of kids brought over or something on a boat somewhere. I don't know. Why was there a rise in orphans during the 1800s? And of course we're using the Garbage Pail Kids tarot because they look just like the Cabbage Patch Kids. That's why. Okay. All right, we have the Four of Wands. Excuse me, camera. Thank you. Knight of Swords? Queen of Swords. Okay. Interesting. This is weird. Okay. Then we have the Page of Swords. There's... all right, get your tinfoil hat on. There's this idea that some entity, some independent agency, all by itself decides that I want to say it's like a company type thing. It's an organization. They decide that they're the smart people and they need to do something here. Now, I'm not sure why they need to do something here. In terms of this feels like a noble cause for them. With bringing, there's a shit ton of kids into the world here. Or to the orphanages. At least that's how that's coming through so far. Then there's a lot of research done here with the Page of Swords. So it's like, we're fighting for what's right. We're deciding that right now we're making a decision. We need to fill up this orphanage or need to have a bunch of kids. However you want to go at that for. So we're doing some research in it because this can be very profitable. Of course, there's always profit. And they've got some great ideas on this. So it's almost like an investigation. They're investigating to do this, but why? Why? Tell me more. Oh, they want to play God. Okay. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. How crazy is this? We want to just... This is not... Okay, so these babies did not come over from a ship. There's no chariot here. It's just babies appearing. Babies just appearing. Like, doo-doo! Look at all the babies. And because we want to... Because we can. We want to see what we can do. Because we're really full of ourselves. You know, we're going to make some amazing kids here. All right. Let's see, because I'm just curious. What was the main goal then? Or what's the whole idea behind it? Let's do that. What's the whole main idea? Like, oh my gosh, this would be a great idea. I think we should, you know, clone babies. Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. Okay, let's do it. Why? Don't know. Or why? Oh, because we're the superior humans and we have super big brains and we need to make these amazing more humans out here to save humanity. Or why? Because one of them's going to invent Beanie Babies one day. Why are we doing this? Why? Oh, goodness gracious. Just had to move my little note there off to the side. Oh, God. There you go. That's the answer to all of it. El Diablo's eyes wide shut, demons doing dirty deeds. This is to make more people to be a part of their gang. Eyes Wide Shut needs more recruitment. We're going to raise them up in the ways of our thinking. Great. Yeah. There's this idea, too, that these... it really feels kind of like that guy, you know, in Germany in World War II, you know, Mr. A.H. This feels very much like we are creating, like, these are going to be the superior peoples. They're going to have big brains and strong and healthy and the best of the best, and they will totally be a part of the, you know, Eyes Wide Shut gang. Oh my God. Overriding concern. They wanted to take over. We have to take control. All these like weak ass humans, these losers, these magoos, we can't be having these people. They think for themselves and shit, and that's got to go. Emotional undercurrent. We got a lot of options here. You can imagine all the sorts of people that we can make. We can make ones that are really good at doing these things. We can make some that are really good at doing these things. Wow. Their fear? Sit there. Oh, interesting. So now here's the thing where it could go sideways. Their fear was they're going to make all these kids, right? They're going to put them in an orphanage. Shit! What if they get adopted by some numbskull who messes them up? Is it possible that, you know, someone could raise this kid and like totally cancel out all of our genetic things we've put into this kid to be a little demon? I mean, oh my gosh. Okay, their obsession. 3 of coins. They wanted to have a parenting type instruction book that goes home with these kids. I don't know if they actually did or not, but this feels like they wanted whoever was going to be adopting these special children that you were going to come in and learn how to do it properly, like the proper care and feeding of your Cabbage Patch Kid. That's what they wanted to do. Okay. Driving ambitions. The moon. This was their secret way to change the population significantly, and nobody would be the wiser. Nobody would have any idea. Their main obstacle. The family. The family. Main obstacle. Because they could change this kid somehow. It's not just about the genetics, right? Okay. Well, this is a whole bunch of weird. So, they wanted to do this. Okay. Is this still happening? I'm just curious. I don't think we have, like, I don't know, actually. I mean, there's a lot of kids that go missing now. One of you lovely sent me in another story about, a ton of kids that have gone missing in Cleveland, Ohio. Disproportionate amount of kids. So I have that on my list to read about. But I'm wondering, like, then, are we not doing this with kids anymore? Babies? I don't know. But let's see. Knight of Cups. Eight of Cups. They've walked away from this. There's some anxiety about what they were doing. Some anxiety, like it. They walked away from this idea. Like doing it publicly, at least. They've walked away from this idea. This would say that there's some anxiety they have about doing this and making this like an offer to the public. They walk this away. They got very good at it, though. So it's not like they failed in their minds. They think they got very good at it with the Eight of Coins here. There's just this idea that this can't go public anymore. Because this dum-dums out here just, we could, raise kids and take care of them, all the adoptive parents that are good raising kids, and, I could screw up all of their nefarious designs and dreams for those kids. There's also some other idea. This idea, like, a lot of this feels like this was great at that time period. It was just, you wouldn't have the instant social media. Can you imagine if, like, orphanages just started popping up now? Like those weird new McDonald's, and people would start taking pictures and sharing it, and it spreads on social media, the internet, that, the whole place. And this stuff starts spreading. That's like too many eyeballs here of people who could critically think. I'm not saying we have a ton of people that critically think anymore, but that there'd be enough of them that'd be like, what is this? What is this? Right? So they can't do it now. They're still doing it. They're just not doing it out in the open anymore. And they can't have, these babies getting raised by, us non-Eyes Wide Shut members. Okay, so then I'm curious. You know how there's a lot of people who do the stuff, right? They mix the boy stuff and the girl stuff, and they put the stuff together, and it gets frozen in a lab, and it waits there. I'm sure some of that stuff's never used. Some of that stuff goes missing. Some of that stuff gets mixed up. I'm just wondering if when those types of places, I'm sure they can't all be reputable. Nothing in life is reputable, like across the board, right? So I want to see then, do these IVF places, say they're excess stuff, does that get used for nefarious reasons? Is it sold like aftermarket or behind the scenes, or however criminals do things? Is that used for some of their projects? Allegedly. The Moon on the down low. That would seem to indicate yes, they're taking some of that product. This one's first. Come on. Oh, yeah, there you go. We're putting it together. Couples putting their stuff together. And then, yeah. So unknowingly, too, I would have to say there's people who have had their stuff put into these places, never gets created into their child. It's getting used by these dirty birds. Yeah, this is a side business of theirs. It's like almost like an offshoot of the Cabbage Patch. Oh my. There's a lot of money to be made here. This is like a extra income stream that a shady business perhaps didn't think of, and then they're approached and they're like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea, let's do it. Okay. Yeah. It's also not, it's gosh, we didn't know we could do this. That's right, it's another revenue stream, but you're going to do it whether you have morals or not. It's kind of like that feeling with it. Okay. Well, there's a reading I'm just astounded by. Tell me what you think. I think this probably could lead into a reading about, you know, the duplicating of certain celebrities and all that stuff too, which I think one of you guys has sent in a question about that one as well, and I will get to it when I can. But if you haven't yet, join me in the Moon Moth Manor, AlyciaWicker.com. Get access to readings like these ahead of time and other ones I don't share here on Tube of the U, and I'll see you next time. Adios.